Hello, Namaskar and Adab to all my friends from your friend astrologer and guide Irfan, once more with you from your very own channel Astro Assurance. In the series of conjunctions of different planets, we have been doing conjunctions of the first lord with the other house lord, second lord and so forth. Today is the turn of discussing the conjunction of the sixth house lord with the other house lords and what are the permutations, combinations it brings in, what are the possibilities that it brings in, what are the manifestations it brings in, and what are the certain challenges and issues also which throws up because of the two different kinds of energies coming together. So let's jump right into it to understand what does it mean when the sixth house lord gets into conjunction with different house lords. Now when the sixth house lord gets conjunct with the seventh house lord, what does this mean? It means that service, competition, sickness, debts, court cases, working under somebody, facing inimical forces, all those energies are coming together with the energies of teamwork, relationship, orientation in business, your married life, balance and so forth. So the coming together of these two energies means that you need to be able to create balance in issues of the sixth house in relation to the issues of or the areas of the seventh house, which means that you need to have a service mindset not only at your work, not only in a team effort, because that's what the seventh house represents, but also have a balance between what you are doing for yourself and how much you're contributing to the team effort, to the career that you are in or to the work that you are in. And because of that balance you will be able to do much better. However, many times what happens that if the sixth house lord is stronger than the seventh house lord, then the person tends to put in lot more effort and is usually helpful in the cause of the team, in the cause of the department more than self. And so here you end up getting a raw deal also sometimes, because the team becomes more important, the project becomes more important, the department becomes more important. So one needs to be a little careful that when you are working, try and have a balance between what is your need versus others. On the other hand, sometimes when the balance tilts toward the seventh house lord, then maybe you try and extricate more out of the other relation, or the others feel that you are expecting more or wanting more out of the relationship, though you are not doing as much, you are not contributing as much, because of which there is some pull and push between you and between the other people also, maybe your partner, maybe the team that you're working with. So as long as you're keeping the balance, this is a good conjunction to have, where you can keep the inimical forces at bay using your effort of keeping the team in focus rather than yourself, and you can also keep away the challenges, the competition which the sixth house represents, because the focus is on the team rather than on the self. So overall, a good combination to have, to work in a team, working with people, looking at both the parties rather than one, keeping a balance, and then you will find that through teamwork, through partnership, you will be able to do better in your career, in your service, and through a service mindset you will also be able to gain the best results out of both your work area and your career as well, when the sixth house lord gets conjunct with the seventh house lord. Now when the sixth house lord is conjunct with the eighth house lord, what does it mean? It means that the areas of the sixth house which is related to competition, service, debts, loans, court cases, working under somebody, team effort, all of them are getting related to or getting conjunct with or getting in some way in synergy with the areas of the eighth house, which revolves around obstacles, around transformation, around changes, around upheavals, around other people's money, around virtual things, around the mysterious. So firstly, the sixth house itself is a challenging house, a dusthana. Eighth house is also a challenging house, another dusthana, and the eighth house is the third house from the sixth house, which means that if you don't have a service mindset, then you may not be able to overcome the obstacles of the eighth house. On the other hand, because the sixth house is also the house of competition, of inimical challenges, many times while doing your work, while doing your service, there may be extra effort that you need to require to put in, so that you overcome the obstacles, the challenges of the eighth house. The eighth house is also suddenness, which also means while you're working, sudden challenges come up, So there is a break in your work, there is a sudden movement at work, suddenly you're asked to change the team, suddenly you're asked to report into somebody else, suddenly you may be even asked to relocate. So sudden upheavals come into work area, because of which sometimes you're not able to keep the traction in your service, in your work, in your career, and your ability to gain from career and your work. So this is a work in progress. This sometimes conjunction keeps you on your feet because of the suddenness of the issues. Sometimes because the 6th house is also the house of inimical forces, people working behind your back. 8th house is the house of mysteriousness, hidden things. So hidden forces also acting behind your back, because of which you don't understand why a sudden challenge comes upon you. This is also that. So keeping your eyes open, keeping your ears to the ground will help you better when this conjunction is about. 6th house is also the house of illnesses, sicknesses, chronic illnesses. 8th house is the house of suddenness. So suddenly you come to know of a chronic ailment which has been maybe niggling you, not giving you big challenges. Suddenly you realize this is a slightly serious problem, not maybe a life-threatening one, but it's become chronic. So some chronic ailments can also come about when the 6th house and the 8th house come together. On the other hand, this can also give you great gains, because the 6th house is the 11th house from the 8th house. So if you are getting into a career related to the 8th house, insurance, taxation, banking, virtual money, wealth management, working with other people's money, research, government jobs, then you can do very well. Sitting in competitive exam to excel in government projects or to avail of government jobs, government service, or excel in competitive exams, which can eventually get you into a research or a PhD kind of situation, also brings you gains. So overall, as long as you keep the balance between keeping your ear to the ground, knowing what's happening, being a part of the grapevine, but having a very service oriented approach, but being ready, suddenly some changes may come upon, but be ready for the change, ready for the transformation, then this is a gain bringing placement over a period of time when the 6th house and the 8th house lords are conjunct. Now when the 6th house lords and the 9th house lords are conjunct, the areas of the 6th house lord or 6th house service, working under somebody, inimical forces, competition, debts, loans, or having a service mindset, all come together with the areas of the 9th house. Spirituality, higher qualification, higher learning, gaining an expertise, working with gurus, blessings of gurus, yourself being an expert, working with people from foreign cultures, traveling abroad, working abroad, or traveling long distance to serve, all these come together. So here it means that through your service you may be getting connected to people from foreign lands or foreign origin, or people across cultures, or there may be some element of long distance in your work, in your communication, sharing of emails long distance with clients, with people from your own company, maybe own department also, or even with consultants abroad or placed in a different location. So that kind of a nature of work where you're working within the department or outside of your department or outside of your company with a team which is not located at your place, and working with them in tandem can also be this placement. Now one good thing about 6th and the 9th house is that the 9th house and the 6th house are in kendra to each other. The 9th house is the 4th house from the 6th house, which means if you do very well in service, if you excel in service, you have a service mindset, then the gains also may come out of your education, your higher learning. And so if you learn from the experiences because of the challenges which the 6th house throws at you, if you are ready to learn from the experiences, become wiser, build an expertise, then the 9th house, the house of gains, over a period of time helps you build assets, and good assets, stable assets also. This may also require you to be well versed in your area of work, to be an expert, to be a guru in your own right. Then you will find that more gains coming. So if you are somebody who is very service oriented, willing to learn, willing to get higher qualifications, learning from your experiences, and through those experiences excelling at work, ready to work with people from different cultures, even traveling, or having a mindset where you are flexible in how you work, with whom you work, then this is an excellent conjunction where service, career, work is coming together with higher gains of the 9th house. So if you have this conjunction, see where the conjunction is coming about. Overall a good placement to have, where service and gains are coming together in the horoscope. Now when the 6th house lord is conjunct with the 10th house lord, 6th house of service, 10th house of career, karma, working in good designations, working with supervisors, managers are coming together. But the other areas of 6th house, inimical forces working behind your back, competition, loans, debts, sicknesses also coming together. So from a service mindset, this is a good conjunction to have, because the 10th house is the 5th house from the 6th house, which means if you have a service mindset, you work hard, especially on your relationship with supervisors, with managers, the power centers at work, then you can get very good gains. This is also placement where sometimes you may also have to change 2 or 3 careers or 2 or 3 jobs before you settle into a job, and then you start making gains. The reason being is that the 6th house is the house of some challenges which competitive forces bring into you, and so there may be some tug of war also which is happening at work. If you are able to overcome that, then good for you. Otherwise, those initial obstacles, the turbulation may also come in. This is also because the 10th house being the 5th from the 6th, and the 5th house, the natural 5th house, is the 8th house from the 10th house. So that's why also some changes initially in your career may come about before you settle in the long term perspective. But if you are ready for the long haul, you're ready to work on your karma, you have a service mindset, then long term this brings you very good gains. This is more of a service oriented, work oriented approach rather than a business oriented approach. So if you have this conjunction, even if you are in a business, have a more service oriented mindset, working with teams, working with the powers to be, authority figures, and long term gains come to you over a period of time, but definitely with some obstacles in the initial phase. Now when the 6th house lord is conjunct with the 11th house lord, 6th house, the house of debts, sicknesses, competition, service mindset, all coming together with the 11th house. Both of them, mind you, are Upachaya houses. 11th house is also an Upachaya house. Both of them will give you gains over a long period of time. So the wishes and desires of the 11th house, social gains coming of the 11th house, gains coming in large organizations from the 11th house, all will be built over a period of time if you are able to continue to focus your attention on the service, on the career, without thinking too much of gains initially. Building your teamwork, building your network over a period of time, strengthening that network, and then using that network for your gains is this conjunction. So having a very strong service orientation, and through the service orientation, through the approach to work, wanting to excel at work, wanting to overcome people who also represent the 6th house, inimical forces working behind your back, through overcoming them through your hard work, then having your wishes and desires of the 11th house met. So this is how overall energy of the 6th and the 11th house lords coming together can be summarized. However, this is a good placement for the long haul, working long hours, working with dedication, working with discipline, and looking at the larger cause rather than immediate gains for the self in the immediate near future, but working with patience, with perseverance over a period of time. And then as you work, as you serve, you will also find gains coming in. This is not only about career or working under somebody. This can also be a business which you build, where you are doing some kind of service to the community, to the masses at large. And if in some way the conjunction comes together in the 7th house or in the 2nd house or even in the 3rd house, this can be an excellent placement where you gain a lot from business. Build your business from scratch, but do very well over a period of time. So if you have this conjunction, if you are able to overcome the initial inimical forces behind your back, because the 11th house is the 6th house from the 6th house, then over a period of time, through your social network, through your ability to serve, without a mindset of looking only at your gains but at social gains also, then excellent gains coming to you over a period of time. The Upachaya houses don't let you down when hard work becomes the backbone of how you serve others, how you contribute to others. Now when the 6th house lord gets conjunct with the 12th house lord, what is the 6th house? The 6th house is the house of service, debts, loans, sicknesses also, competition, people working behind your back, you being able to overshadow others, having a service mindset, all coming together with the energies of the 12th house of solitude, working away from your birthplace, working in a foreign land, working with foreign clients, foreign consultants, working in a solitude environment, maybe with the armed forces, maybe in a medical profession also, but somewhere there is seclusion. So service of the 6th house coming with the seclusion of the 12th house also. So maybe you are somebody who works individually alone. Even when you are working in a department, you are somebody who works alone, and then maybe through your individual contribution also contributes to the effort of the team. Maybe you are working on a project with a foreign client, with a foreign MNC also, but some part of your project is where you are either responsible for the work yourself, or you are working with a foreign client, foreign consultants, MNCs, foreign companies, or slated above for work or work on site as well. So service component gets connected, but the 6th house of service but also of illness is getting connected to the 12th house of also hospitalization. So if you have this conjunction, especially in the Dusthana, so be a little careful, take care of your health. The other side is also the 6th house, the house of service, the 12th house, the house of excesses, waste. So be very focused where you put your attention to service, to work. Don't put long hours without thinking whether you are doing smart work. If you do too much of hard work, then you may not find the appreciation, the gratitude coming in from the powers to be, the appreciation coming at work, and many times you may be dejected. So work smartly, know how much to put in and where to pull back. Also, in your expenses, hold the purse strings, otherwise what happens, you may get into debts, because the 6th house is the house of debts, 12th house is the house of expenses. So overspending leading to debts is what can be this placement. However, if the placement is positive, getting into good houses, getting into the Kendra houses, even Upachaya houses, then over a period of time, very good gains coming in from foreign lands, foreign clients, or being able to do a lot of service mindset for charitable organizations, for NGOs, and doing something more, leaving a mark behind, and through your service giving off your karmic debt, and then eventually having a spiritual elevation. It's a strong placement of even karmic possibilities of even getting a crack at salvation itself, moksha itself. Good combination to have, as long as you know you need to work smartly, you need to know where your focus of attention is, where you're contributing, where your efforts may be going with. If you do that, then gains of both this world as well as the nether can be given to you by the zodiac, as long as you have the service mindset and you have a clinical mindset of how you work, how you approach work. So friends, if you have any of these conjunctions of the 6th house lord in any of the houses, look deeply which house lord, 6th house lord is getting conjunct in what houses, what doshas or yogas it is in, what aspects it is in, because those flavors, those permutations and combinations may also bring in a different flavor to the conjunction rather than just being by itself with no other influence on them. So friends, like this video, share this video, and if you're looking for a personal consultation from me, please reach out to me at the links given below. Until some other time, some other video, this is your friend astrologer and guide Irfan signing off. Ciao.